What's up, After Buzzers? Welcome back to the Barry After Show, Season 2, Episode 4. What? Yes, we're talking Sam, I Am. We're talking Barry, Fuches. We got a great show coming up for you next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, After Buzzers? Welcome back. We're here at the Barry After Show. I'm your host, Erica Edwards, but I couldn't do it without my crew. So I would like to introduce you guys to Miss Conversation Piece.
Hello, I'm back. How are y'all doing?
Yes, and the man on the panel, Mr. Ricky.
Yeah. What's good?
And the amazing Alexa.
Hey guys.
All right, you guys, we have a great hot show for you tonight. We have we're going over everything, what? And we also have a special segment with Miss Conversation Piece. Alexa's going to bring you some news, and Ricky's going to bring you some trivia on this episode. But before we get to all of that, what do you guys think of this episode overall?
Hilarious.
Yes,
Love it.
Yes.
In
This
all
was my-
forms of it.
Yes. I loved it.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It was really dark. And not that Barry isn't dark anyway. It already is, but it was like
Right.
really dark this time. It
Yeah,
was-
we got to see his dark side, and I also saw every range of emotion because I feel like he was mad, he was sad, he was jealous, he was confused at the end. So it was like you got to see all these emotions from him, and normally we don't see emotions from him. So that's,
And he was sensitive too.
Exactly. I really enjoyed this episode because I felt like it wasn't all about the jokes, and it gave you some really grounding on almost all of the characters. So that, and we got a little bit more. I like the backstory to find out what's going on with everyone. So we open up this episode with a scene where they're having dinner with all reasons, like why, with Sam. And it was so interesting to see the dynamic between Sally and Sam and how Barry was trying to pump her up the whole time and she was sort of pulling back. What did you guys think?
I thought it was strange just because when we first saw them sitting down, I knew that was her ex or some sort, but I didn't think it was the ex that was beating her that she was telling us about, in the previous episodes when they were talking about the scene. I didn't think that was him. I saw the annoying face that Barry had, but I didn't
Annoying, wanted to kill
initially.
He wanted to jump over the table and strangle him.
He just
Yeah, I didn't initially think that would be the guy that would be sitting down with dinner. You know.
I was confused. Why are you at dinner with someone who beat you up multiple times?
agreed.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't. And I had an ex who had a boyfriend in the past who did that, and she would still talk to him. I'm like, what are you doing? Still speaking to someone that literally hit you, beat you up numerous amounts of times. I didn't understand that why they were even there. But can we talk just very fast? Can we talk about the opening shot of just Barry's eyes and like he looked
Yeah,
like
that was
he
hilarious.
wanted to just like. Every bit of energy he was holding in, every bit of energy to hop over that table and just beat the crap out of him. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, those eyes.
Those eyes.
And for me, I was confused at first because I thought they were still picking up from where they were outside. And so I thought Barry was just like zooming in on that guy just eating whatever he was eating outside. Why would he be just like crack open a candy bar and start eating in the middle of a conversation? But when I realized they were talking at a restaurant, I was like, oh, I was actually going to talk to like about it in general, but abusive relationships and why did she go back? Why did she, agree to have dinner with them? Like, why
Don't
is
get
she
it.
continuing to talk to him? It's a cycle, and it's something that we're going to discuss a little later in the episode.
It's kind of a crazy cycle because not only did he beat you, but he's just your ex, period. Like, why are we going to dinner? Like, I'm not doing that with any ex and going with my current boyfriend. Do we do that? Have we ever done that?
Are they official?
Yeah, I think Sally and Barry are official
Okay.
boyfriend and girlfriend for sure.
Yeah.
I do feel like it is sort of a cycle. So if you've been in relationships where someone has either psychologically abused you or whatever, sometimes you do want to get to that place where, you know, you can be friends with them if at all possible. But I think what's interesting is that when you watch her interaction with him, she still seems as if she were abused. He seemed pretty okay at this particular dinner, but the whole time she seems sort of to kind of downplay herself the whole time. And Barry was the one who's like, no, she's amazing. She's great. And so it was and you really got to see some of the dynamic that went on between
But you know
them.
what? That happens a lot in abusive relationships. Like the person, you would never think, oh, he abused her, because they put on that face
Exactly.
in public and they know how to just be cool. But as soon as they get home, they turn on that switch and they're like choking you against the wall or something.
They know the other person's triggers. They
And
know exactly what to say.
Exactly. And I think we have to go back to the fact that Sally did not do as the script that she wrote.
No.
She ran away from him. So she's never really stood up to him. She's never really said to him what you did was wrong. So he probably was like, all right, she just left me or whatever. And so she never had that cold break from him anyway.
Right.
So to me, I feel like she was sort of like, okay, I'll go ahead and sort of, you know, meet with him, especially with Barry there. I mean, I think she wasn't fearful.
But
you
she
know.
met at the hotel as well.
I know. We'll have to talk about that when we get to that.
Yeah.
For sure, because I definitely have some comments on that. So then we go to the scene, which I love because I'm a no-ho Hank, like total enthusiast. So we go to Barry out there training. And it's so interesting because throughout this episode, pretty continuously, Sam seems to like be an even deeper trigger for Barry than most other people. So even though Barry is out there training them, he's still like with the grumpy face the whole time. But I have a picture of that scene because I love me some NoHo Hank. So when NoHo Hank walks up with like the floppy hat and
He's still a scene
sunscreen.
stealer. He's still
Yes.
a scene stealer, even when he doesn't like have any lines. Really, I think he was improvising in the background.
That
He's
is like a
still
Kentucky
Here's the
Derby hat.
magazine. Yeah.
yes, but you know, shout out. I totally believe in sun skin protection. So good job. How did you guys feel about the training scene, and specifically when the guys are kind of fooling around and that one person that that Barry sort of, you know, bonds with, and he kind of like just is like the mean, angry teacher. Like if you're distracted for one moment, you can end up dead. What do you guys feel about that?
I kind of loved it. You need someone. I mean, you're playing around with guns. He's training you to become a killer. He's training you to become an assassin. This is not, let's go to the gun range and let's just shoot objects because it's fun. He's no joke. Like,
Right.
Barry is a cold assassin killer. So when he sees someone just playing around, it's kind of like disrespect to the gun and to the sport.
Right.
Sport.
I don't feel like he felt like that. I felt like he had the jealousy in him, and
Of
it's
course.
just been, you know, going around in his mind, and he just snapped. But if that hadn't happened the day before, I don't think he would have reacted to the guy playing around with the gun. I don't think he would have.
No, it's bled over emotion from what he was dealing with Sally. But also, I think it's going to bleed into next episode. Which, by the way, we were all calling for. We want to see Barry be, you know, this killer again. We want to see him snap again, and we want to see what he can do more so. And we got to see that this episode. But I also think that this kid that he's training again is going to pop up and is going to be a big problem a little later on, because he's actually training him pretty well, and he might become even better than Barry. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know about
we'll
that.
See.
That's a very bold statement.
We'll see.
Exactly. I don't know if I would say he's going to become better than Barry, but I do feel like Barry is kind of a big brother to him because everybody was playing, but that was the person that he takes seriously, and that's the person that he's truly bonded with. And that is sort of
He was honing in on him for sure.
honing him on, yes, for definitely. So then when we go to let's talk a little bit more about the acting class and his interaction with Sally. There's a scene there where after they go to dinner, and Sally's like so upset because, you know, she's crying and she's upset because, you know, how can she do this part? How can she write this script? And she didn't do that. She didn't walk away. She was this weak person. And Barry kind of gives her this little pep talk that's kind of like, hey, be like me and like continue to lie.
Just be in denial. Just deny. I loved his line, you can have secrets. You should be able to be the person that you say you are. It actually, his advice to her prevented her from standing up to Sam later, I think, in that scene. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think so.
What do you guys think? And I think I have a picture of Sally, and let's see, yes, here we go. Put that one up. So this is that moment when he is like, to me, what I did like about this moment, I not necessarily know if I endorse his advice to her, but this is one time where we really see him coming through and being supportive of her and kind of advising her, and I was really touched by that.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, but it was the wrong advice.
I don't think so. I mean, it's nothing wrong with embellishing your movie or your story or your book. I mean, people do it all the time in movies. I'm sure, like some of these true stories, some of the things are not true.
Of
And-
course.
But I think what is a thread throughout this episode is they're all giving each other the same advice. They're all saying, can you be the person that you want to be or as you want yourself to be as opposed to the person that you were?
Yeah, even the other acting class guy, he said his parents were abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was in his mind, and the teacher was like, no, you can't do this story. And he's like, no, this really happened to me. Even though it probably didn't happen to him, that was what was in his mind, in his imagination. Why can't you tell the story?
So that apparently didn't really happen to Sally as well.
Correct.
Right.
So I feel like she got herself into that situation because Barry's thinking that this is what really happened. So he wants to
At first,
Support-
he did.
No.
Right.
What I think is absolutely Sally was abused.
Absolutely.
She did not curse the guy out. At the
No,
end.
right.
So Barry is like, you can still do this story because this is the person you are now.
She
Right.
explains it. She says she walked out when he was asleep. She
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get to curse him out and say
Yeah.
F you and like she wanted to. So this is her therapy. This is her chance to say it to him. She's going to act it out. I don't see anything wrong with doing it the way that you should have done it. Because we've all had moments where we was like, man, I should have done this. You know what I mean? And this would have been a better outcome possibly if I would have done it like
And
this.
also, I feel like this episode also discusses the thread. I feel is this is who she is now. The person she is now would stand up to him.
No,
But
she
would
didn't
she?
stand up. She didn't
Because
stand
of
up.
Didn't though.
what just happened?
Exactly. So
I don't think so.
It's all about working through your past traumas and understanding who you were back then versus now. I totally agree with you, but for Barry to say no, just continue to lie and brush over it,
That's
like
not
it's not
cool.
the right
Yeah, no.
way to go about it, and
Yeah.
it's not dealing with the actual trauma itself.
That's true. I mean,
Gene is telling him to lie too.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's not dealing with the trauma, but at the end of the day, you do have your secrets. And I think that is a valid thing. Like, I agree with you in that she did run again at the end, but the whole point is theoretically or hopefully is that she's changed from the person she was. But the next scene, and the whole thing about change and who you were, your truth. And also, I feel like if you're doing a play, he brings up a great point. Star Wars is great. Star Trek is great.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not real.
Right.
So you can be authentic. You have to deal with your own past truthfully, but what you present as a play or, in the theater does not always have to be as
based
truthful.
on real life events.
Exactly, because when they do a biography, they're not putting
every
in all the
single
bad
thing.
little
Yeah.
stuff you did. in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
life.
yeah.
And sometimes they add in extra people. So they do that. All right. So we see Gene with his son Leo. So Gene comes home.
What a 180 there. I was not expecting his son
yeah.
to come back around.
What did you guys think about the strawberries for
Sweet.
Gene,
It was
for
really
his dad?
sweet. It was
And I
sweet.
think we have a picture of that one. I think I brought a picture. Let's see. Okay, wait a minute. Nope, that's not Gene. So don't put that one up. Okay, that's the one I took out. All right, you guys. But yeah, so what did you all? That was kind of a quick scene, so that's why I was.
Yeah,
thinking
the
it.
scene was quick, but still kind of funny because Gene just can't be like a genuine person. He's like, let me airdrop you my contact. Like,
How
oh
about
my
the
God.
shirtless picture?
Yeah, that was
He
ridiculous.
airdropped his son a shirtless picture of him in a mirror.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. There it is. We do have the photo. Yay!
And
Shout out to Steven. Thanks, Steven. Okay, so yeah, so that's the picture of his son feeling awkward,
So funny.
but still trying to bond with
The
his
greatest
dad.
moment is when, Henry Winkler's character, Cousineau, asks him, like, why did you come back? Why are we getting dinner? Why? And he said, oh, because you made an effort.
You made an effort.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yes.
Yeah.
don't
That's
screw it
all
up.
it takes. Yeah.
Don't screw it up, Cousineau. Don't screw it up.
Well, he almost did.
I know.
Right. It's
The
amazing
shirtless picture.
that he didn't even have his dad's contact at all, but he still knew where he lived and was able to get in contact with him. But I mean, he's like, oh, I'll give you my number. Like, he's just so Hollywood. He doesn't know how to just.
He's trying, though. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
And more importantly, we see Leo actually trying. So that was that.
Despite what his therapist and mother says, I will let you into my life.
A son or daughter, they always long for their parent, no matter what. I mean, they're still alive. Let's at least try. He's trying.
Okay, so two quick scenes. The scene in the parking lot with Barry and Sam. So Sally is rehearsing her scene, and Sam, doesn't listen to Barry and comes and watches her do her scene. And then Barry sees him and runs after him, and he says this is when we really get to see, like, oh, okay, Sam is really an idiot. And
He's a douche.
he's a total douche, and that's when you see like the burning in Barry.
Well, because he said I effed her before you did when her pee was tight.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It was real
that was
bad.
You tell any man if I like a girl and
bad.
her ex-boyfriend, I don't like him already because he's a douche, and then I hear those words come out of her mouth. I don't even know how Barry restrained himself. I'm surprised he didn't like jump in the car and like try to strangle him.
Well, he did try to kill him later.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, it wasn't even that much later either.
Yeah,
Because
he
he was
just-
like, oh, yeah.
he went right home.
I knew he was about to kill him at that point because I was like, ooh, that was
Can we
below
talk
the belt.
about how Barry is basically the Hulk? I get angry and then I
Yeah.
just lose my mind. He
Surprised he
basically
doesn't turn green.
becomes the Hulk and tries to kill people.
I definitely think if he would have killed that guy Sam, it would have been a big mistake though, because it would have just been linked back to the whole like another, somebody that's connected to a class member of this acting class dies, and it would have just brought the police, I guess, hot on his tracks versus the Fuches.
Yeah, and I'm
situation.
going to be the devil's advocate here. I agree with you. Sam is a douche.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a point. Like, he's, like, watching this and is like, this isn't what happened. This could totally ruin my reputation, this and that and the other thing.
Mm.
Looking at it from his perspective, like, he did have a few points there.
All right,
have
but
a point. He does have
here's
a
my
point.
thing with it. So Sam invites Sally to come back to his place. And that was the thing. Like, it seemed kind of creepy the whole time because he's like, yeah, and just come back. Just come by my room. The whole come by to my hotel room
know.
was creepy. Then he's like, oh, come to the coffee shop if you feel uncomfortable, knowing that it was closed. The whole situation was kind of scary. And I was like, okay, what is he really going to do to her?
Yeah.
And so she gets up there and see, I totally disagree with you. I feel like the only part that was a lie was that she didn't stand up to him.
Right.
But he didn't deny beating her.
Yeah, he did
so like,
beat her.
yeah, this should be out. And if you beat her, like it is what it is. And
He didn't deny beating her, but I didn't see that side that she's portraying. I mean, he got angry, he punched the wall, but if he was really that abusive guy and he really didn't want this story to go out, I feel like he would have put hands on her right then
No,
and there.
he's married and has
Yeah.
a family now, so now he has to be extra careful.
see,
Do you think he was being careful?
I do. I'm not gonna say he's being careful.
Well, he's
but
being
to
smart
me,
about
I
it.
felt like his actions, to me, once he started really flipping out, he was kind of a second away from choking her.
Yeah.
I think.
I think she was being dramatic, like he said.
Dramatic. She
Yes.
got beat up by him.
Are we sure? He said it didn't happen. That's why
No,
he was
the
so mad.
words didn't happen. Her saying the only thing that I heard that did not
So
happen.
if she's lying about her standing up to him now, why are we believing that she's not lying about him abusing her? Why?
He said that what you said was not true. He denied how she's
the hero of her own story.
Right, but
That's literally what he said.
but
That's
he-
what I'm saying is I understand why he's upset about that.
But he didn't deny never beating her.
right. He
And,
never
and
said
that's
that.
and that's my thing. It's like her being a hero of her own story does not harm his reputation. What
Exactly.
harms his reputation
Exactly.
is
The beating.
was he beating her or not? And so, I mean, I believe based on what he's shown that he absolutely was. But I do also agree with Miss Conversation piece that it is up in the air. That's how they shot it because he could have hit her. I thought he was going to hit her or rape her. Why else did you want her to the room by herself anyway, to be honest? So I did expect more violence on his part towards her.
I think he definitely did some not physical,
Mental
but
abuse,
mental
for
abuse,
sure.
and then like she's being dramatic and taking it to another level. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong to beat on somebody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think she's telling an embellished story.
Was the scene when she was Skyping with her friend and then she was explaining the story, the only thing that her friend said that did not happen was what she said when she was leaving?
That's what made me think.
So he
yeah.
actually
Okay.
beat her then.
Okay.
That was
Yes.
the impression I got, but we still are not clear really on what their true history are because, and we discussed this last week, and this was my prediction because you were like, well, how did he know? And I said last week the friend told it, and it comes out this week that it was like the friend through her husband or whatever. So to me, on the flip side, it also goes to, well, if he was beating her that bad, why are people telling him? And they have, like her friend set her up for this.
I know.
So it does kind of beg the question of, really she did suffer some sort of abuse. I don't want to say she wasn't abused, but where that line is does seem to be unclear to some extent. But what I loved, and I have a picture of this, was meanwhile, we're like, okay, is Sam gonna get her? And then right when Barry steps in, like about to kill her, and he's like, oh my gosh, Sally's here.
God.
He gets these close calls. He's been
so
getting these
many.
very, very, very close calls lately that he's bailing himself out of.
And I'm like,
but by a split second.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck. Sam, you blessed. Because I think you deserved a gun to the head because you're an idiot. And Sally saved you because Barry was there
He was-
to do
So
it.
does
Pull
that
the
mean he's
trigger.
not a psychopath? Because if he was super crazy, don't you think he still would have shot the guy?
No, the only reason, 1,000 times, the only reason I think he didn't shoot the guy was because Sally was there. Otherwise, he would be dead.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, he
Absolutely.
came to shoot him, but
Yeah.
I mean, why does Sally being there stop you?
Because
if
he
you're
doesn't,
psycho?
Because he likes her
He
still,
doesn't
though.
want to reveal himself to
Right.
Sally.
Right.
That's the only reason why
Yeah.
he didn't shoot him. Because he,
If your boyfriend showed up to say you were talking to your ex and your boyfriend showed up with a gun about to kill him, wouldn't you be like,
You'd be like,
I
yo,
don't know about
what's
dating
going
you
on?
I mean,
right
that's
now.
what I'm saying. And even if she wasn't there, if he would have shot him, it still would have been like
no,
a red
you're
flag.
right. I agree with you. He still would have been in hot water because it wasn't totally thought out. But absolutely, he's like, oh, well, my girl's here. I can't do it. Like backstab.
But thank goodness he didn't, because that would have been bad.
Okay,
really bad.
so Fuches. Oh my gosh. Fuches and Loach, they're like the bumbling bumblers, but they're so cool. And so what's interesting is we finally get to see Fuches, which I thought all along a little bit, actually show some concern for Barry and be like, okay, and kind of try to pull back. And Barry is so upset he doesn't catch the clues.
I know. I love Barry's relationship with Fuchs, and then also his relationship with Cousineau. It's like he's calling both guys like they're almost like father figures in his life, and he calls Fuchs first, and then he calls Cousineau next because
Right.
Fuchs is like, no, don't call me anymore, don't call me. And it was so great to see Fuchs just express how much he actually cares about Barry by protecting him.
Right. So Fuchs like hangs up on him. He's
Yeah.
like, don't come. And we will put in here quickly the scene with Jean and Barry, because it is important in that we really find out what really happened to kind of send Barry on this sort of psychopath type spiral. And we hear Barry's backstory, and he tells Jean, and Jean is like, I swear I will never think differently of you. And then he's like, but don't tell nobody else.
Well, Fuchs, he did want to help Barry. However, he didn't. He should have went on and just told him, like, not necessarily, hey, the police are here, but he should have told him something versus just don't come here and hang up, because we know how Barry is,
But he can't. He doesn't want the detective to hear that.
But he's
Because
saying
then it's
don't
gonna-
come. They can hear that too.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
guess,
guess.
but It's just,
If
it's
his-
quicker to just be like, just don't come here.
Well, because they technically can't pinch him if he's saying don't come, because they don't really know why he's saying that.
Yeah.
But if he blatantly says don't
police
come
are
because the
here.
cops are here,
Yeah.
then he's screwed.
Yeah.
So he was kind of giving like Morse code without giving him the.
Yeah, I see. But Barry wasn't paying attention. But the scene with him and Jean, he opens up and he tells his truth, and it's like, oh my God. I don't know. I feel like Jean definitely is crazy because he bills him at the end. He's like, I'm gonna get my ledger so you can pay me for this therapy session.
It's not crazy. He's just.
I thought
Can you
he's-
just give yourself a
what
break
I would
for a
call
second?
Hollywood and LA because you think the person is your friend and,
And
then they
they're
hand you a bill. That's what they do here.
What are you doing?
Like you're at least paying for lunch if we go
Those
out.
people at Whole Foods are not really, they don't love you like that. But before we go to our conclusion,
Yes.
Ricky has something to share.
Hey guys, before we move on to our next topic, we just want to say thank you very much for making us the ESPN of TV talk. And without you guys, there would be no us. So with that being said, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a rating on our iTunes, and leave us a comment below. And I at least promise to reply back to all
I'll
of your
reply
comments.
to.
I will too.
I will too if you don't say anything mean. Okay.
Say anything
To wrap it up, okay, the last scene, or just the second to last scene, Barry gets caught. And let's see.
What a twist! That was so
this
great.
is the absolute last one, or close to the last.
This
scene.
was the best scene of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
the best scene. And Barry is like, wait, what? Fuches has betrayed me. And, and Fuches is like, but let me talk to him. And it's just an amazing, like, Bill Hader and his eyes and the looks he be giving
Says
the
everything.
camera says so much. Like, I could just do screenshots of him all day. But what's so funny, the crazy ending, which is what I have here, the absolute ending is when Loach is like, okay, he's like, I'm sorry about Janice. I'm really sorry. And then he's like, no, this is not about Janice. This is about,
I want you to kill the
Yeah.
guy that's banging my wife.
Yes.
And
So
if you
he
kill him, everything will go
He's
away.
He's not even sad about Janice. Are we serious?
I think he was, but then he found out about his wife, and he's like, "You want on? She's gone. I need somebody to take care of this dude right now."
This for me
Exactly.
was a reminder that we are watching Barry, a dark comedy, because the whole episode was so dark, so heavy, and then this last moment was like, oh my gosh, we're watching this ridiculous comedy.
exactly.
I
It's like,
remember.
what? And the TF is implied, okay? All right, you guys. So thank you so much. That's our episode. But before we go, we have so many more things, but we're going to speed it along. We have our special segment.
Oh yes.
All things
segment.
drugs, baby.
And we have a famous drug lord here. His name is Armando Carrilla Fuente. He was one of the top drug traffickers in Mexico. He was transporting 4 times more cocaine to the U.S. than any other trafficker. That means Escobar, all of them. So yeah, he was known as the Lord of the Skies. He used over 22 private Boeing 727 jets to transport the
That's
cocaine.
a big plane.
Yes, and he made $25 billion in his career.
What?
Billion.
The way that he became the head of the cartel, he killed his mentor and former boss, Rafael Aguilar Grando. So now he's, deceased, but yeah,
wow,
he made that much money
$25 billion.
in 22 planes.
They're about to change my field.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm totally
Drug
kidding.
lord.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I just had one drug bust that happened this morning. Nearly $243,000 in meth was seized in Ashland, Kentucky. 2 were arrested. And basically, officers say they were responding to an animal complaint. Somebody said a pit bull was eating their cat. And then they found the
it was
drugs
on
in the
meth.
house. Yeah.
All
Hey.
right.
Because the pit bull was on that.
Thank you for sharing your drug lore with us. All right, you guys. So keep it on. We have our trivia.
So I have a general trivia. A general trivia. I have a general trivia about Bill Hader in this last episode. So the opening scene, when you get the close up on his eyes, that was Bill Hader's directorial debut.
Oh, wow.
So he directed that whole thing. So, despite having to be very adaptive with the weapons for the role of Barry, Bill Hader was very uncomfortable with having to shoot guns on set, according to Hader. In the first text of the first scene, where he shoots a gun, he physically looked away while he was doing it. So
Right.
he's this like big assassin killer, but like real Bill Hader's like, I don't want to pull the trigger.
Well, thank you for that tidbit, Ricky. All right, so on to news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So found out that Barry was nominated for a Peabody Award, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
And won it actually. And then also to talk about the research that they went into for Sally's abuse. Basically, Bill Hader and Alex Berg were like, well, we're just two white guys. We need to like talk to women about this. And they went to friends and family and got a lot of different accounts from these women. And they would send them the script and they would give them feedback saying, you know, this is true to life. This is what would happen. So
Oh, wow,
that
that's so
was
cool.
really cool, I thought.
That's so cool. And
Yeah.
I actually found out this week as well that HBO is putting more money behind Barry, and they're starting an animated series, which are also doing the
animated-
backstories of Barry, Insecure, and Game of Thrones. All shows that I totally love.
That's amazing.
Wait, the
Hey.
animated version?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, well, kind of like the backstories of the actual story. So that'll be great. We're excited about that. So before we get out of here, folks, what are your predictions?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict that Barry will definitely kill Sam at some point. He's just not gonna let this jealousy go. The dark music is following him every scene he enters, so he's gonna do something dark. He's gonna kill somebody.
He is going to come out. Everyone's going to know who really Barry is.
No, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. He's gonna go and kill or try. Actually, he's not gonna go and kill the next guy that
Sam?
Fuches. No, not Sam. Sam's gone. Sam's done.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he's just gonna continue until it comes out to Sally. I think it's gonna come out to Sally.
So
Okay.
you don't think he's gonna take the job, the assassin job?
Oh, he's taking it, but he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna kill him.
I think eventually by the end of the season, he will come out to Sally and she's going to like it. All right, you guys. That's our show. But before we go, wonderful hosts, people, tell us where they can find you and what's going on with you guys this week.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at MISS Conversation Piece. Also, check me out on Loving Hip Hop Atlanta.
And you can find me at Ricky Vitucci on all social media platforms.
You can find me, Alexa Cappiello, at Alexa Cappy on Instagram.
All right, you guys, you can follow me on all of my social media at Erica, ERIKA, as in Door Edwards. Thank you guys so much. Don't
Thank
forget
you.
to like, subscribe, 5 stars, thumbs up, all
See
that.
you next week.
Have a great week, you guys. Ciao for now.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.